Welcome to the NXT Podcast, your home for weekly NXT reviews and insight.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
Find all of your NXT news, recaps, and analysis right here. So with that being said, we only have one question for you.
Are you ready?
We thought so. Let's get the show started right now.
All right, guys, this is Memphis Mark coming to you from Mullet Manor. And let's do a review of the NXT show the day after Halloween, the 1st of November. And they started off with Bron Breakker in the ring. And, of course, he's cutting a promo and doing good. But then, he has to be interrupted. And who is it? None other than the men's tag team champions, Pretty Deadly. And they come out mocking him, making a little fun, telling him, he talks like this, and all this kind of stuff. And so they get into the ring and they proceed to do that. And Bron has a couple good comebacks. He does his own version of them and in an accent. And everything's looking good, but you can't have 2-on-1, so that means we have to add somebody, and we're going to add Wes Lee, the North American champion, comes out and joins them, and, there's some hair touching, and, Wes brings up how beautiful their hair is, which, hey, can't hate on somebody, Let me see, in history there, Michael Hayes, the Freebirds, he had a heck of a set of hair on him, and there's other Tommy Rich with the ultimate bowl cut in the front. Never mind. But, they go on, and then, of course, they let everybody know that they would like the chance at the belts. And they do announce and try to give Pretty Deadly a little of their headlines or the main event, the opening of the show, the big time. They gave them an announced them, or they gave them, hello, this is this is Pretty Deadly, the tag team champs, and they're thinking everything's good. Then the guys remind them that everybody gets interrupted, and this is where you get challenged for your belts. And then they said, we are interrupting, and we want the challenge. So that sets up the main event. And, of course, before they get all through, they got to bring out R-Truth. And R-Truth comes out and has a few words and keeps the crowd going, during the break, because he's got a match with Grayson next, and he does good. And hey, look, Wes Lee even does the R-Truth dance, the splits, the whole deal. So pretty good. And then, of course, after that, they come back from commercial break, and R-Truth's got the crowd all wound up, and it's a match between him and Mr. Walla. And in that commercial break, though, I do have to bring up, they ran an old at least my feed, had an old Raw commercial, like the Mysterios are still together. They had several factions that were, anyway, it was just an odd little thing in there. But, yeah, we come back and we got R-Truth, Mr. Walla. And, man, the match starts off good. They're both going good, man. R-Truth's doing some old school big arm drags and everything. The match is, back and forth. Waller gets to walk down the ropes. Everything is going fine. There's a time in the match where, let me see, R-Truth is down, and Waller's getting ready to jump off the second rope after he walks down a little bit, and R-Truth rolls out of the way, and then he goes around to get him the other way, and R-Truth rolls the other way, and so it's kind of ticking Mr. Waller off. And so a few more moves, and Waller is on the outside looking in. He's down, so what does R-Truth get ready to do? He's going to go old school. He's going to fly over the top rope because the man still got some moves. You gots to know this. Well, he does the splits, and he doesn't quite make it all the way over the top rope, has a bad fall, goes down and hurts his knee. So we'll have to hear on the status of R-Truth. But he ends up getting carried out. But, man, during the commercial break, they got to keep the timing up. The show's written, so Waller does his best to piss the crowd off, does, push-ups, calisthenics, everything. They come back from the break. He gets out there and he's telling everybody it's his house. He's the baddest in NXT. Then, of course, they have to announce it, and then he does get his mic time and does a great job, man. I like Mr. Waller. But they go from there. And lesson learned, old dogs cannot fly anymore. But they go into an interview with Schism. And of course they've got Ava Rain now. So, with Joe and Rip and Jagger, and they do a good little sit down and a good little promo there, I guess you could say. So gives a few minutes, but it gives Ava Rain a chance to talk. And she does okay. And of course, Gacy is Gacy. But, Jaggers and lost it in my head, but, Rip and Jagger, they do good mic work also. So, there again, it's the 4 roots and 1 tree. So they go from that to a little promo with Nuffy and Blade, and they're waiting at Shawn Michaels' door, HBK, and who's there but Big Buddy Javi? So they're all waiting there, and Javi's trying to let them know that they probably shouldn't be waiting, because, he's going in to talk. But who appears? Who appears from HBK's office but Odyssey Jones is back after his layoff from an injury. The big NFL lineman there, the big football lineman there is back, and he's going to have a match in a little while. But first, we must do Kiana James and Thea Hale with Chase U. So they do their little promo and come out, their little pump up, Chase U, and Kiana, of course, she passes off an envelope, and I don't know where that was going, but the match is pretty much one-sided. Miss James lays a butt whooping down. I mean, she grabs an arm, and she looks like let me see. But tonight, she looked a little Arn Anderson-ness. She was laying it down. So, and Miss Hale was picking up what she was laying down. Now, she did pretty good in the match, but with no Bodie there. With no Bodie, they had to resort to Duke Hudson. And he's, the flag bearer, and he's doing everything. And at one point in time in the match, after a severe butt whooping, Miss James is going to pin her by the ropes. And there's Mr. Chase and Mr. Hudson are out there. And Mr. Hudson reaches over and grabs Thea's leg and puts her foot on the bottom rope, which means there's a break. And hey, it pisses Mr. Chase off, and he sends him to the back. Get out of here, man. So he's got to go. And so he leaves, and so, Miss Hale gets back up and proceeds to get that butt whooped again. And she gets pinned. I mean, it was a butt whooping, but I think Miss James's hold is the 401k. And anyway, she gets it done to her like 2 or 3 times. So the match is over. And, of course, then we have Charlie Dempsey jumping in and jumping on Mr. Chase. So who comes to Mr. Chase's rescue but Duke Hudson? And he gets to kind of pick Miss Hale up off the mat and show that, hey, he's a charming young man. You should follow me. Kind of stirring the pot a little bit. And so, hey, not so bad. It was a good butt whooping for Miss James, to showcase her talents. And, of course, with Mr. Dempsey coming out, that's going to lead up to something next week. You know that. But where did that envelope go? Well, it went to Mr. Briggs and Jensen and Fallon Henry. And they start reading the envelope, the paper out of the envelope, and And of course, they look a little shocked. So we will have to see where that goes, because next we have Odyssey Jones going to go against Big Body Javi. So we have to get this going for sure. So let me see. We got, he's been out, I think, for around 10 months. So he is ready to get back in that ring, man. He's slapping all the kids' hands on the way to the ring. He's happy. And he comes in with his big O, he does a little finger sign above his head with the big O for Odyssey, and he comes out. Mr. Big Body Javi comes out, and they get the match started. And of course, Odyssey is got the power, and of course he's very agile for a guy his size. Now, I'm not sure his exact weight, but if he ain't 260, I don't know what is, or above for sure. But he's throwing his weight around a little bit and doing like a backflip. I'm sure that goes back to some of the football stretches and stuff they do, but he does like 3 body rolls on him, or he's rolling around the ring, happy to be back in. Of course, he goes for a big stomp in the corner and misses, and that gives Big Body Javi a chance to come out and lay a lumber down. And he tries to get on him, and he gets on his back in the corner, and he's got his hair, he's pounding on him, but that's usually going to lead to somebody that big picking you up and taking you out of the corner, which he does. But Big Body Javi jumps off there, and he tries to chop the big man down, starts going after his leg. So, after a few good moves and everything, and giving Big Body a little TV time, getting him, a little chance to have some promo or something like that on him, on the big man, he's trying to wear him down and everything, but, come on. There is a size disparity against in here that's pretty good. But amen, Javi does try to make it look good. He tries to put him in a headlock at one time, and the big man just kind of picks him up and tosses him off. And, then you see a couple of big clotheslines coming, and, it's kind of inevitable. It's kind of inevitable. He does like a tackle or, a body block, whatever you want to see on the man. And it's just setting up a big splash in the corner, and leading to the fall away slam. Some people call it different things, tornado, just a lot of different stuff. But anyway it goes, it leads to a victory for Odyssey Jones. And all right, we got that one down, and they're going to bring up Toxic Attraction. So they're getting ready to do the 1-year anniversary for Mandy Rose being the champ. And the Toxic's got a little party planned for her. They're going to do a little partying out there, so they get ready for that after this good match. So let me see. Right, with this 1-year anniversary or celebration, the girls come out. They've got the ring set up like a little lounge area, got a table. Always got to have a table. And you know what was something kind of weird tonight? They kept having some kind of technical problem where the lights would flash off. Not all of them, but they would, a couple of the big lights would go off, which dimmed the room quite a bit. And actually they end up, at one time during the commentary, apologizing, and Booker T does his classic veteran move, going, are you interrupting me to talk about that? And anyway, but the Toxic is out there, and of course the girls are doing a great job of butt kissing. They are laying it out there pretty thick on how Miss Mandy is the baddest and the best of all time. So they proceed on for several minutes. They even have a highlight tape that they play, and after each girl gets a good, couple minutes on the mic to have, to show their skills. And, so they go through all that, and then they do a video presentation. And they start off with Mandy and the blonde hair, and she's doing the fitness magazines and all the model type stuff. And she's out there with Chad Gable's partner, whatever, big tree trunk guy. And then they show her debut back, where she is tearing it up, and Toxic is born. So I guess you would say Toxic Attraction is born on that date, and they go on to her reign on how successful she's been for a year. And she's got good mic skills. She gets on there and tells everybody, that, she's the greatest champion in NXT history. Prove me wrong, and put some damn respect on my name. She gets that in there a few times. So, and they talk about her, combining, the belts, and everything. So it's just a butt kicking, session for a while. But then there's a little smoke that comes up, and where there's smoke, you know what? There's fire. That's Alba Fire. And she comes out, and she starts kicking a little butt, puts Gigi through the table and announcing that she's going after the rest of Toxic Attraction in order, with Mandy being last. And so, yes, she announces that she's coming. She's not done. She is not going to be put on the back burner. Alba Fire is for real. All right, so after that, we're going to have a little promo with Apollo. They got to get Apollo in there. And so Apollo's watching a screen or something, and Vaughn comes out there and says, I see you got, visions in your head, but, pretty much lets him know that, everything goes through me, Von Wagner. And then after that, Scripps is calling in again now. Scripps be calling in. Scripps is calling in, doing the creepy message for the poor receptionist at the Performance Center, which, they might have to get a warrant out or something like that, a little harassment on there. But, he comes out with his little lyrical dialect, and, we'll see. I guess we will have to wait and see. All right, earlier they had a little quick promo where Zoe and Miss Lyons come in, and they kind of throw their bag down in the locker room. And a couple of the girls took a little offense, one of them being Indy Hartwell. They've been building her up, so anyway, they have a little disagreement. So Zoe Stark is now going to face Indy Hartwell, and this match is good because they've been building Miss Hartwell up for a while, and of course Stark is right in the middle of the writing now. So, and she's been doing this close to a heel turn kind of stuff here. But look, the match is a banger match. You know what? It's come close to being the best match of the night. The ladies just they kick butt. And they've been building Hartwell and of course Stark both up, but man, these guys come out and they were doing some old school stuff. It's like, I mentioned Arn Anderson earlier. This was kind of like an Arn Anderson younger in the Four Horsemen, and and maybe Stan Hansen with the lariats in Indy, because she was laying some stuff down, and she got on a body part though. Indy did, like Arn would have, in doing the classic, an arm twist and then slam, yanking you into them so you can, give them that shoulder, and just classic moves. And of course, Zoe's going to get Indy in the corner and do some, like Arn Anderson, some of those big shoulder drives into the corner. And it's just back and forth in this match. As I said, it was a banger, but these ladies are throwing down. Miss Stark's throwing some heavy-handed chops, where Indy is throwing everything heavy-handed and big-footed. But Zoe, I mean, their timing was good, man. Zoe goes in and jumps off the rope, the second rope, and goes back for a kind of a big, a body kind of a blow to her. And man, their timing was perfect. Indy wasn't waiting on her to get there. You got Nikita on the outside, and she's trying to get things going. But then there's flashes of the heel turn in Miss Stark. Flashes, there's a point where she's got Indy up and she's got her by her hand, and she's just like 3 or 4 times slamming her into the turnbuckle, and then she goes heavy and hard on Indy's, I think it was her left arm, and just really started working it. So just about the time, though, you think that Stark's, going to take it over, Indy comes back with some just power moves. I mean, just full body, Bobby Eaton body slams, just technically perfect. And then she ends up flipping Zoe outside the ring, and Nikita's out there trying to play peacemaker and calm down and get her to calm down and get her to chill back in, and she's slamming around. She's all ticked off and everything, and that seemed to be the theme of the match. It was Miss Lyons trying to calm her down and get her back in her head. I don't know how much she had turned, but Stark was frustrated, and she portrayed it perfectly. Like I said, this match, man, I mean, these ladies beat the daylights out of each other. I mean, there was a succession of moves that Indy did, like to the body and to the head, and then a big arm, and then gets her over in the ropes and just wears her out, man. Big kick to her head. You think she's about to win, but no. I mean, both of them had some good pin attempts in this match. Indy, looks like she's frustrated a little bit. Zoe looks like she's frustrated, but like the kick that Indy put to her head was just good. And, Indy tries to do a suplex, and of course it gets blocked, and Zoe comes out of that with like a big time, clothesline, and just coming back with moves, chops her down with a kick to the, knees, and a flying knee off the ropes too. That's when you think Zoe's going to win. So, as I said, this match goes back and forth, with Zoe losing her cool. And Nikita constantly trying to tell her, you don't need to do this. You don't need to do this. And, man, because Zoe does and I know it's been done by everybody. Mysterio does it himself, but it went back to the days of the Rock and Roll Express with me. But a move off the top rope and then like a backflip down. And then she gets Indy over in the corner and just stomps the crap out of her. I mean, where Nikita is steadily going, you don't need to do this. You're going to get disqualified. So Zoe's backing off like, oh, yeah, all right, let me chill. But that is going to be her downfall. She goes and throws her out of the ring, throws Indy out of the ring, is getting ready to slam her on the announcer's table. And I knew she wasn't going to do it because they didn't clear off enough stuff. She just tore off that apron, that little top part that says NXT, and throws that to the side. And then Booker T's grabbing his stuff and everything, but nobody grabbed the monitors. Nobody got the bottles of water and stuff out of the way. So you knew it wasn't going to go that far. But she did look like she was getting ready to powerbomb her, which she tells her to calm down, chill, get in your head. So Zoe's like, yep, you're right. So she throws Indy back into the ring. And when she does, and she's saying, yes, I'll chill, that leaves Indy the opening. And there again, on time, big boot to the head, and then a clobbering elbow to the back of the head. And it is 1, 2, 3 for Indy. And that's just causing a problem. They do a little promo a little later about, Indy, Nikita's trying to tell her to chill and calm down. And Zoe's like, look, I'll be ready next week for our tag team championship rematch. All right. But yeah, no heel turn. I thought I saw it coming, but it did not happen. They do a little promo. I guess somebody knew Anthony and coming in, and then they've got Singa, and Feroz talking, and she's trying to get Singa to come out, and he says, "Can't do it, man." And then we got Via Mahan coming in, and they both look dapper. But one thing I didn't notice until I watched a little closer, that Wendy Chu was waiting in the background, kind of listening in. Kind of surprised me a little bit. But Veer comes in and lets them know, look, guys, or look, brother, they take your kindness for weakness, and we're here to change that. So apparently that's what they're going to do, but it's going to lead to a Cora Jade Valentina Feroz match. And, of course, she's kind of missing Singa from the outside. She looks a little sad. So, pretty okay match. Cora pretty much tears that butt up, and knocks her around. The match is pretty predictable. Cora ends up taking this one pretty soundly, but then she wants to do a little, she's got that kendo stick, that black kendo stick, so after the butt whooping she puts on her, she decides, because the whole match she's telling her, you shouldn't even be in the ring with me, and then, she, after the match, is going to kind of give her a whooping with the kendo stick, until Wendy Chu comes running in with her full onesies, or whatever the hell you call those things. She comes flying in. She gets one lick to her belly, and then ends up knocking the stick out and almost gets her. Almost, I said, almost. But you know what that's going to do? That's going to set something up on down the road. And, they do a little promo with Stax and Tony D. And Tony D's like, hey, man, it's like seeing a son grow up. You're becoming so helpful and everything. But then you got Elektra Lopez coming in and letting the guys know that she is more dangerous than ever. And she walks that walk and talks that talk, man. So, Stax is like, man, you really think, anything will come of this? And Tony's like, I kind of believe her. So, we're going to lead up to Wesley and Bron Breakker versus Pretty Deadly. And, you know how this is going to come out. Wesley and then Bron, of course, and then you got Pretty Deadly with the wind in their hair, the locks of love flowing, and they're doing the side whoompa, 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 whatever the hell that is. And so you know where we're going from here. All right, with this match, you're going to get some high flying. You're going to get a little of everything. You get some old school in Bron. You get high flying from Pretty Deadly and Wesley. So starting this out, man, there has to be a weak link in every team, and Wesley is going to have to take this one. But man, he puts on a good show. They're tagging it out real smooth. Bron looks good. Bron does a backflip. A freaking backflip, after its succession of moves, they, put in a good tag team work, and then Blondie, slaps Bron, and, stuff gets real. He gets a couple more good licks on Bron, but, then, there's a backdrop from Heck, and he puts him up and over, man, and, the match is back and forth, man. Pretty Deadly is good, man. I don't know. I know it's not the most popular thing to say, but like Grayson Waller is good. Pretty Deadly is good. They're hindering moves together. They're tagging in and out, quick tags. I mean, they do good. And even when Wesley is having to take some grunt of some stuff, he gets an arm and he's trying to stay on an arm and work that, but it's back and forth. And look, they're so close as far as making everything go right, but then it looks like Wesley gets thrown into the ropes, and it looks like they're going to do a backdrop, but no, he just throws him up into the air, and he comes down face first, and that's where Pretty Deadly takes the turn. So they go to actually do like a double suplex or maybe a face plant on him, but they pick him up in the air, and Bron comes in and stops him. So of course they fight each other a little bit, and then there has to be, of course, they're going to go to the outside, and you're expecting them to jump over, but nope. It seems it's time for a commercial. So they let Bron and Wes go over and do their Steiner brother impersonation, and they're barking and doing all that. And as a matter of fact, Pretty Deadly, and a couple times when they get the upper hand, they bark at Bron. But this match is pretty good, man. They finally get to isolate Wes, and they work him over for a while. And it's a real good work. And Wes is selling. This is all good stuff. This is a good match. I do think the ladies' match to me was a little bit better. But if you said this one was the best of the night, then I couldn't, argue too much on that. But it was for the tag team championship, and they go back and forth. And you know how it happens. Eventually, Wes is going to get the upper hand and get a tag. And he does some high-flying moves before. He comes in off the apron over the top rope and does a head scissors and just carries on 3 moves from that. A chain moves, just looks really good. Then he gets over there, makes the tag, and Bron comes in. They're it looks like going to take it. They're back and forth, and then Wesley gets a chance to have the guy in the ring to finish him off. Bron goes out, takes the other guy, other member of Pretty Deadly out. He's whooping him on the floor. Wesley goes up to do his final move, to do whatever he's going to do off the top rope, and Mellow. That little Mellow never misses. Well, he runs in and pretty much jumps up and knocks Wesley off, which leads to a quick turn, a couple moves, and there's a 1, 2, 3 going down. And, of course, he didn't even know what had happened. So Bron's in there, trying to figure out what happens. Well, Wes sees a Mellow, and he goes out and continues to keep whooping on him outside. And Vaughn looks surprised, and that was where the timing was off, because Bron has the belt up, and he's supposed to look surprised and turn around, and there's Vaughn. They kind of get a little off, but still Bron turns around and Vaughn puts a big boot, and he goes off the TV standing over Bron, where you see Apollo looking on again. And he can't look at nobody without somebody coming up, because it's JD, baby. And JD comes up and lets him know, hard to win a championship with a torn retina. And that's how they end it. That's how they're going to end it. Well, you can't go wrong when you go off air with JD. Anyway, that's gonna end our show for this review, guys. So let's head on out of here. So, man, as always, spay and neuter, rescue when you can, and this is Memphis Mark. And you know what? I'm out.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.